we're now bringing you some breaking news regarding international developments. These are developments taking place across the border in Pakistan, where we're learning that Pakistan Army Chief General Asim Munir has made an official visit to Washington. This is his first official visit, though it is customary for Pakistani Army chiefs to travel to Washington. Now, we have for you the key pointers in terms of the conversations he had. He met a number of senior American officials, key among which was the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. Now, the messages he was conveyed and what the Pakistani establishment is going to do with them. We're going to take a deeper dive into that. Very quickly on the screen behind me, let's take a look at what those messages were. This meeting, as you can see, with the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. Number one, right on top of the agenda, in relation to India, they've been told trade with India and the maintaining of peace are both a top priority. The maintaining of peace needs to be assured on the LOC. Now, this is very important. China. Remember, China and Pakistan have a long-standing alliance, one that stretches back decades. The economic coordination also has been playing out since the 1970s, but it's really in 2015 that you saw China amp up its investment. The United States saying that they need to restrict their Chinese investment. They need to keep it to the economic corridor that China and Pakistan have been developing over the last few years, and no security coordination. So a green light of sorts been given to economic coordination, but very particularly not security coordination. Also avoiding all access to the Chinese outpost that's present in Pakistan. And we'll move very quickly. I believe there is one more point over here. They have also said that they are going to support the Pakistani establishment in its action and operations against the Taliban-e-Tehreek Pakistan. All right, we're going to go over to Siddhant. He's with us to bring us a lot more in terms of context on this entire story. Siddhant, I know there is an aspect relating to India in this entire story, but I want to get to that in just a second. If you can just tell our audiences first, the United States and Pakistan and China. These are two relationships that Pakistan has almost had to balance while the United States and China work out their relationship.
Yeah, that's right.
So to understand the story, first tell us, where does Pakistan's economic and military relationship with China stand right now, and how is this going to be affected by what the United States has just said?
Well, look, this particular visit is significant in a way because Mr. Munir is seen as somebody who is not very pro-America in terms of his background, because his predecessors were some or the other way were inclined towards the Western countries in America. Point number one. Point number two, this particular visit is happening at a time when America is concerned about China, especially the expansion in the region in terms of CPEC coming up in Pakistan. And this particular visit is happening. In fact, he met Secretary of State. He also met the other senior officials in the Pentagon. Now, there is too much reading as far as this visit is concerned. But what Manoj Gupta is telling us is that Mr. Munir has been told categorically, very clearly, that restrict China only to the CPEC, to the economic corridor. Don't let China take over any of the outpost or the security setup. Don't involve China in the security setup. Also, Mr. Munir has been instructed to start trade and talks with India. So that is something very big, and perhaps we are listening for the first time. So in India also, this particular visit was being criticized, but this is very important to understand that China and America has deep military understanding, a brilliant and amazing military understanding, because both the military of both the countries have been working together for maybe more than 20 years, before the withdrawal of forces in Afghanistan. Now both countries have to sit together and find out new anchors and new common ground to take the relationship forward.